Hey, what's up, everyone? It is August 5th. It's a Tuesday, August 5th, 2014. And I am Ant-Man. And I have a article here from 3 days ago. And I thought it was interesting because this is the guy of the hour right now. We have an article from WND up here. And it is Dinesh D'Souza. It is a WND exclusive. America exceptionally good or exceptionally evil. He zeroes in on two competing, utterly opposite visions for America. You want to talk about a guy who hits the nail on the head? You want to talk about a guy who gets down to the real issues of our society today? This is the main guy. And unfortunately, it does have to do in the battleground of the academics. It has nothing to do with the general public. The general public doesn't even talk about politics or religion or anything like that. They just talk about sports and fashion and whoever's being the sluttiest right now. That's all really the world cares about. So it's depravity. So anyways, where we're at right now, people that have a head on their shoulders that could talk about things that are more, worth our time, I guess. We look to people like this and we say, wow, I'm glad that people like this went to school and that they dedicated their whole lives to learning stuff, because they come from other countries and really see it from the outside in. And also, being a citizen in the United States now for as long as he sees it now from the inside out, and he sees how it is. And anybody who has a good education and has a good understanding of what goes on in a lot of the universities, like a lot of the Ivy Leagues, we know that there has been competing ideologies in our country now for the last 100 years. I've only been alive for 27 years, but I understand that there's been people fighting over these ideologies in America for the last 100 years. And we had Woodrow Wilson, who resigned from office because he felt super hardcore guilty because he let the bad guys over. They outwitted him. They tricked him. In his own words, they duped him. Excuse me. I'm trying to fix this. Sorry. I'll just get into this already. But anyways, you know that it comes from the inside out. And America is too great of a nation to be attacked from the outside in to be taken over. So this is all built by design. We're being taken over from the inside out. Ideologies flooded throughout the entire region of our country, even within the Protestants, even within whoever, you know what I mean? Everybody, it's in the culture in everyone's lives that a lot of these Eastern philosophies and New Age ideas, and we have to weed them out because ideas are dangerous. People don't kill people. I think ideas kill people because ideas are what have caused billions of deaths due to crazy people like Hitler and stuff like that. So let's just get into this. Copyright 2014. This is by Dinesh D'Souza, WND.com. Anti-Americanism, like Americanism, is a homegrown phenomenon. I am defining anti-Americanism not pejoratively, I've never heard that word, but clinically, as referring to antagonism to American ideas and institutions. Here I am not concerned with the anti-Americanism of some Bolivian radical, Russian apparatchik, or Iranian mullah that could be written off as ignorant prejudice. Rather, I am speaking of the anti-Americanism of Americans who know their country really well and have well-considered objections to its historical and contemporary conduct. I know a lot of the liberals like to use our foreign policy as a excuse for them to show disgust toward our country, but that's not enough in my opinion. Yeah, we need a lot of changes in our foreign policy, but that's not any reason to justify blowing up buildings like somebody named Bill Ayers, and it doesn't justify acting violent toward other Americans and acting hostile toward our own people. These are all diseases in my opinion. These are all what's really plaguing our country. Progressives sometimes sound anti-American, but they are not simply advocates of destruction and destroying one America. They seek to construct another. In other words, their unmaking is a prelude to a remaking. So there is a vision of America that progressives affirm. It just happens to be very different from, indeed, antithetical to the ones that the other group, the conservatives, affirms. Dinesh D'Souza is a smart dude, man, and Smarter than me, obviously, and he uses a lot of words that are big. So, contrary to what we frequently read and hear, the Great American Divide is not a clash between conservatives who advocate liberty versus progressives who oppose liberty. Rather, the two sides each affirm a certain type of liberty. One side, for example, cherishes economic liberty, while the other champions liberty in the sexual and social domain, nor is it a clash between patriots and anti-patriots. Both sides love America, but they love a different type of America. One side loves the America of Columbus and the 4th of July, of innovation and work and the animal spirit of capitalism, of the Boy Scouts and parochial schools, of traditional families and flag saluting veterans. The other side loves the America of tolerance and social entitlements, of income and wealth redistribution, of slave revolts and the civil rights movement, of Indian rights and women's rights, of sexual liberation and abortion, of gay rights and gay marriage. I recently debated Bill Ayers, 1960s radical and Obama mentor at Dartmouth College. I actually watched that the other day. Cool. Our topic was what's so great about America. Ayers began by celebrating what he considered to be great about America. He did not, in this context, make any reference to the founding fathers. He didn't mention Abraham Lincoln. Rather, he invoked a protest tradition in America, going back to the 19th century socialists and continuing through the 20th century progressives right up to the himself. If patriotism isn't the dividing line, neither is American exceptionalism. Again, both sides believe America is exceptional, but one side believes America is exceptionally good, while the others believe that America is exceptionally evil. Even here, the former group hates certain aspects of contemporary America, while the latter affirms those same aspects, such as American administration or government administered national health care of heterosexual and homosexual promiscuity advanced under the banner of moral freedom. Yeah, today the it's just like the church and state saying. A lot of people have hijacked words like evolution, science, church, and the phrase church and state. They've hijacked the not moral freedom, but civil rights. All of these words have been given different meanings. What we know as civil rights, man, they're like what we see in the Constitution, that we have unalienable rights. They're not given to us by the government, they're given to us by God. So no one can take those rights away from us. No one can try to intimidate us to give up our rights or force us to. So we have every right to fight for our freedom. So that's one thing. It's not about giving more freedom to a group of people, but ensuring that our civil rights, the ones that are given to us by God, the pursuit of happiness is the one everyone loves so much, but it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, property, meaning that you have the right to just make yourself a wealthy person in this country. This country was based on wealth creation and all that, and building businesses and whatnot. So a lot of words these days are hijacked by the but not by the conservatives, by the progressives, or whatever you want to call them. I call them, neo-Marxists, because they are, in a way. They are socialists, man. A lot of the people in this country now that they go to school and they're all into politics or whatever, they're hardcore socialists now, man. And it's because of the, I don't know what you want to call it, UNESCO or whatever, man. The people who control the education in all of the colleges, man, they're brainwashing people straight up. I know some very smart people, man, that made it into prestigious colleges, but college is more about money than it is about how smart you are. And when you go to college, a lot of people who are rich, they make it through, and they're snobby. They don't have any character because they don't have any hardship in life, and they're just a bunch of snobby, rich, spoiled kids. And look at just all the entrepreneurs of the Industrial Revolution. All of their sons became corrupt, man. All of them. We could bring up Ford, we could bring up Carnegie or whatever, but they're all of their sons, man. They just got That's what money does to you, man. That's what money does, and that's what power can do. How can we compare and contrast these two Americas, the one that conservatives uphold and the very different one that progressives cherish? Well, oddly enough, we can do so by comparing the journeys of two Frenchmen to America. One of them, Alexis de Tocqueville, was an aristocrat who traveled widely in America in the early 19th century. Tocqueville visited a few decades after the founding, so he was in a position to observe how the founding principles was imprinted themselves into American life. If that's that French dude, yeah, I've heard about that guy. That guy came all the way. Yeah, it was a Frenchman. I just actually read that. I've heard about that guy. Our Constitution and how religion mixed in with our laws and all that was so beautiful, man, that people from France came over here to study politics and see how why we prospered so much, and it's because we honored God and at least at the best that we can. I have a book right here that I got the other day. It's called Bible Law versus the United States Constitution, and I'm really psyched that I got this. I'm really looking forward to reading it. But a lot of this guy Ted R. Weiland, man, if you look him up, he'll give you this free book online, and he pretty much breaks down how the Constitution does not honor God. It actually is the opposite. But you know, we all know the history behind the people that wrote the Constitution and whatever, man. There's a lot of funny stuff behind a lot of the stuff that's in our own country, the obelisks, the Statue of Liberty, all that stuff, right? It's all a bunch of like, you know, creepy pagan stuff, right? But for the most part, man, we have the Constitution really does help us exercise our religious liberty and speak our minds. And no, you shouldn't let anyone take that away from you, man. If you don't use it now, you won't be able to use it later for sure. The other Frenchman, Michael Foucault, was a celebrated intellectual, author, and philosopher who taught for several years at the University of California at Berkeley and lived in the San Francisco Bay Area during the 1970s. Foucault also returned to lecture in America during the 1980s when I met him as an undergraduate at Dartmouth. Foucault obviously saw a very different America than Tocqueville, an America reshaped by the tumult of the 1960s. Moreover, Foucault's interests were very different than Tocqueville's. Indeed, much of what Tocqueville found most interesting, Foucault found most repulsive. America in a sense, illustrated many of the things that Foucault considered most objectionable and repressive about Western civilization. Yeah, if you guys don't know about the 1960s, that's when the whole, a lot of crazy stuff went down in the 1960s, man. And a lot of that had to do with getting rid of stereotypes, wanting everybody to be treated equally. We all want that. But the liberals take it too far, man. And trying to make it like a thing where we don't stereotype people, it has turned into something where we just don't make generalizations at all anymore. We can't say something is what it is because of fear of offense. And that is a mental oppression. You shouldn't be afraid of what somebody's going to feel like, if you're going to make them feel bad or whatever, man. Be like, if you want to be like, if you're a Christian, man, and you want to do things right, you do it gently, compassionately, in love and kindness, man. Because when you tell somebody the truth, man, it hurts, right? When you have to rebuke somebody for the way that they are, it's gonna offend them, right? But you try to go about it in a certain way, you know. You're not meaning to. You're not attacking this person to try to make yourself feel better or to make yourself seem like smarter, or you know what I mean. A lot of people do that. They get into arguments with creationists and whatnot, and they just want to just kind of just regurgitate or vomit their nonsense just so that they can. I mean, it's the oldest line in the book, right? Satan gives you secret wisdom so that you can act like you're God and that you're way smarter than everyone, when in reality, man, I mean, it's funny that I even came to evolution because it's a perfect example of nonsense. It contradicts all natural law, so it makes it's unintelligible. So it's stupid in my opinion to even discuss that stuff. But you know what I mean. I try to give my time to just debate some people if they really are sincere about it. But I noticed that a lot of them have a ego. A lot of them have like this pride that comes along with knowing this stuff, and it's just like, dude, I don't have any pride. And I mean, I am proud of what I know about God and all that, but I'm not doing it to throwing it in your face, man. I want you to know the truth, and if you're not going to open your eyes, then I did my job, and I feel bad for you. But Foucault should be not written off as an anti-American. On the contrary, Foucault found himself widely enthusiastic about America for a single reason. That reason was enough to cause Foucault to rave about America to his French colleagues to the point where they considered him madly pro-American. For Foucault, America was great because America was a place to transcend all sexual limits so that adults could not only have sex with each other but also with young boys. So this guy, obviously, living through the French Revolution, maybe, obviously he's not that old, but you know what I mean. He has a history from coming from that, and we all know that when you know what I mean. Like when you come from other countries and you're used to other cultures, man, you may bring some weirdness over here. But Foucault, as we shall see, considered this such a noble idea that it was even worth dying for. Together, these two men illustrate the very different Americas that are being affirmed by conservatives and progressives today. And I am proud to say, man, I go to Hillsdale College, man. I mean, I go to I get other academic stuff done, but I like to get my liberal arts education from Hillsdale College, man. These people are on their game, my friend. They're not trying to give you a one-sided story of all these things, and I mean, it's if you guys understand the whole thing when they try to teach you that property's all stolen and all that, man, that's brainwash. I'm telling you, man, these government state institutions that they call public schools or universities, man, are brainwash. They're indoctrination camps for our people these days, and you wonder why there's so much. There isn't any tolerance these days. Racism is back and at full force, man. People are hardcore racist again. People that don't agree with ideologies, and especially if you're religious, man, you're marginalized now. Everybody treats you like you're a weird. Everybody likes to use the word weirdo. Weirdo. Oh, that guy's a weirdo because he actually doesn't let people push him around. Oh, he's a weirdo because he actually stands up for himself and speaks his mind. Oh, he's not just a little giggling coward wimp like me. Oh, he's a weirdo. They use these kind of words and terms to try to make you seem like you're not part of the normal society. You're not part of what everybody is doing. And to be honest with you, man, I'm not trying to. God told me that if I'm a Christian, dude, the world's going to hate me. And it's practical truth, man. You believe in God, you believe in Noah's Ark, you believe in Jonah being swallowed by a fish. People are going to make fun of you, man. So if you're going to be ashamed of that, then you're not a Christian. And that's just a solid fact. I'm willing to take as much of a beating for what I believe in as God gives me the grace to to endure. But other than that, man, I'm not going to give it up for anybody. I'm going to make my calling and my election sure, man. I'm going to make sure I finish that race, man, because nothing is more important than that in this life. So make fun of me all you want, dude, but every knee will bow at the end, and every eye shall see, man, that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I'm not just worshiping an imaginary friend like the atheists say. Oh, you guys have imaginary friends. I couldn't imagine someone like God, my friend. You're too deeply depraved to imagine somebody so holy and good and merciful and kind that you would never come up with the God that is in the Bible. You're too disgusting in your mind and your heart to ever think of someone like that who calls you out of a sincere heart and love, true love, to want to make you a better person and not just give you things so that you can continue being who you are. Our God is an awesome God, man. Let's begin with Tocqueville. And yes, I do preach, man, but hey, what can I do, right? Through the overflow of the heart, man, the mouth speaks. Let's begin with Tocqueville, who observes at the outset that America is a nation unlike any other. It has produced what Tocqueville terms a distinct species of mankind. Tocqueville here identifies with what will be later be called American exceptionalism. For Tocqueville, Americans are unique because they are equal. This controversial assertion of the Declaration that all men are created equal, Tocqueville finds to be a simple description of American reality. Americans, he writes, have internalized the democratic principle of equality. They don't bow and scrape in the way that people in other countries, notably in France, are known to do. In America, unlike in Europe, there are no peasants, only farmers. In America, there are employees, but no servants. And today, America may be the only country where we can call a waiter sir, as if he were a knight. Yeah, and that's true. When I go to places like El Salvador, man, and the service, man. I mean, I was denied service just because they didn't like me at one place. And, I mean, if I was too worried, like all of the trendies, about how somebody was going to like me, I mean, if I was just worried about all that all the time, I mean, I'd be a mess. I'd be a wreck if that's all I cared about. But yeah, it's true because I've been on other countries and waiters, people who have humble jobs, people who spend money at restaurants, when they're spending money, they act like they act like they're high and mighty, and they'll talk to the waiter disrespectfully. And yeah, like, in our country, we even, I mean, I hate it, but I hate when, like, you go to a restaurant and they tell you you have to tip this much. How about you let me just tip you and not tell me I have to tip you, okay? It doesn't work like that. The, See, these are like the type of politics we get from people like Obama, who are like global redistributionists. Like, okay, whatever you have, we got to give it to everyone else because you have too much of that, and it's just stupid. That's dopey, okay? Um, you can see a lot of the problems today that we have in our society are because of that. We take from the people who are hardworking and we give it to the lazy people who don't want anything out of life besides just nothing. They don't do anything productive. They sit around all day watching TV, getting brainwashed by MTV so that they can become gang members and then they can go out and act cool all day. It's just it's a perpetual idiocracy going on, and it's just we take from the people who are hardworking and we reward the lazy. Uh, you know what it is, man? I mean, I shouldn't come down on these people so hard because it's a lack of parenting, man. Where are the fathers? Where are the people that are raising these people? Because they're the ones that are responsible. Because if you don't teach your kids nothing, they will learn nothing. And you know what I mean? It's hard to be out there in the world on your own to learn what it's all about and how it works on your own. You need an older adult, a father figure to teach you how to walk in this world, man. And people who are poor and that they don't want anything good for their lives and they're just lazy and good for nothing and they all they care about is whatever, whatever is hip and trendy and probably even alcohol and whatever drugs they do. That right there, man, is a crying that is a shame, and that is something that is just yelling at us to fix right now. The core of all our problems in America is the education and the way that our government works, because we reward laziness and we beat down the man, the man spirit that we have, that we're supposed to be men and we're supposed to encourage one another and that we're supposed to act like men and not be, when men back in the day, when they were swinging swords around, if they had a brotherhood about them, if they had camaraderie, it was because they were men. They would brag to each other that I slew whatever over there and I'm wearing its skin now and its coat and I'm just like, a man. Nowadays, men are like so feminized and domesticated that what they admire about each other is how good looking they are, or how much jewelry they wear, or what kind of car they drive. It's all decadence and vanity, and it has nothing to do with the real man spirit that we have, that we have in our heart, man. Like, that we're adventurous, dangerous, that we take risks, that we're, you know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about living secure lives, having money, and just not giving a damn about anything serious. But yeah, that's the man of today. Tocqueville noted with some disapproval that Americans have an inordinate love of money, yet he could not help being impressed and observing among Americans the restless energy of personal striving and economic competition. Choose any American at random and he should be a man of burning desires, enterprising and adventurous, and above all, an innovator. Competition, Tocqueville notes, produces unequal outcomes on the basis of merit. Natural inequality will soon make way for itself, and wealth will pass into the hands of the most capable. Amen. I could tell you about a parable Jesus even told about that explains that. Tocqueville is especially impressed at the fact that rich people in America were once poor. What makes success possible, he writes, is the urgent striving of the ordinary man. The ordinary man may be vulgar and have a limited education, but he has practical intelligence and a burning desire to succeed. Before him lies a boundless continent, and he urges onward as if time passed and he was afraid of finding no room of his exertions. In fact, Tocqueville observes what he terms a double migration: restless Europeans coming to the east coast of America, while restless Americans move west from the Atlantic toward the Pacific Ocean. Tocqueville foresees that this ambitious, energetic people will expand the borders of the country and ultimately become a great nation. It is the most extraordinary sight I have ever seen in my life. These lands, which are as yet nothing but one immense wood, will become one of the richest and most powerful countries in the world. Well, talk about a prophet, right? This article goes on and on. I don't want to waste your time. Man, I try to make these videos as short as I can, you guys, but, these articles are long. I'll give you the link so that you can read the rest of it. Dinesh D'Souza is a brilliant, brilliant guy, man, and he hits the nail right on the head all the time. You know, a lot of people nowadays will try to discredit him because he's going to jail because he donated. You know, he did something illegal by donating campaign. He was funding somebody's campaign overfunding it. I guess you know what I mean. But like, he's going to jail for that, and you know, just I wouldn't say discredit a person because he's going to jail. You know what I mean? There's so much corruption in the system when it comes to law that a lot of innocent people get put in jail, and a lot of people who are guilty go free. So what is if we were to base truth on the merit of how moral a person acts in life, who can we trust? The Bible says that there are no man, there's nobody, not even one, who's good. God has seen everybody who's ever lived from the beginning to the end, and from the end to the beginning, and He says there is not even one of us. So it's a stupid cop out to stop to use an ad hominem attack to discredit Dinesh D'Souza. He's a brilliant person. He has done a lot for us people who love our country by exposing the ideologies behind the left and how they are being used to take down our country from the inside out and just revel in being a criminal and lawless and immoral when America is the opposite and was built on principles that are against that kind of stuff. But sorry for taking up all your time, man. I'm so sorry for that, man. I appreciate you guys for coming to my videos and coming to my channel, and I promise I'll make these videos shorter. I gotta make a new format for these type of videos so that I don't waste your time so much, man. But God bless you, man, and thank you so much for watching my video. Take care.